I want to start by talking about how insane the past 12 hours have been for me. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Kylie. This video is going to be a vlog style video, and I'm going to start with a little get ready with me right now while I talk about my fitness journey and how I got into fitness. I have my matcha here. I know I look absolutely insane. That's why I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna do my hair. I'm gonna also start with my makeup. So here we go. While I do that, I'm gonna talk about how I got into fitness and me as an athlete and just what started and sparked my health journey. I want to mention before I get into this, I am on my period right now. If I'm a little bit sassy, that's why. Let me think back to the start of my fitness journey. My mom put me into soccer and I was pretty good at it. I'm not gonna lie. I actually ended up going to college to play college soccer. So I knew that to go to college and also get college paid for, I needed to play a sport. And so I think I kind of realized that around like 12 years old. I was like, all right, well, my parents told me if I want to go away for college that I needed to get a scholarship. So I was like, let me just start taking this a little more seriously and lock in. That's what I did. I locked the fuck in. I need to lock in on this mascara, to be honest. That's kind of when things, like I said, 12, 13, 14, that's when I was a freshman. I made varsity soccer. As a freshman, I actually got to play with my sister, and I ended up later in high school becoming the captain of the team. I'm super grateful to have gotten to play sports. I feel like sports kind of embedded that growth mindset, gritty, scrappy mindset really early on for me. I really appreciate my parents for paying for that and letting me, pursue something that I was good at and something that challenged me, that has helped me as an individual in all aspects of my life. At this point, I look back and I'm like, identity would be completely different without soccer in it. Grateful for sure. Once I decided I was going to lock in and try to get a scholarship, I started working my ass off. When I was a junior in high school is when I got my gym membership. Surprise, surprise, the way I learned how to lift weights was from Chrissy Chella, who owns the Evolve You workout programs and ONER Active, if you're familiar with them. I'm literally obsessed with that brand, so you might hear that a lot from me on my channel. But Chrissy would post these YouTube videos, long form YouTube videos, and they were like how-to videos for how to do a deadlift or how to do a row, how to do an RDL, all of that. She really is who made me feel confident in the gym because I had very little knowledge. In soccer, we don't really lift weights. We would do a few different workouts a week, but mostly running. Like lifting was not the number one form of movement. So junior year, I quickly got into lifting weights and I fell in love with it. I was seeing so much progress. I remember, this sounds so shallow, but saw pictures of myself like, damn, my arms look good. Like I look strong as hell. And I remember because of that, I want to keep lifting. I want to keep lifting. I was so obsessed with the way I looked. Obviously, when you're in high school, like you care so much about how you look. And I was pretty insecure back then. Kept learning. I would learn from people in the gym. And of course, like I said, Chrissy would release new videos. And I kid you not, I'd be like, okay, now I'm going to start doing this exercise because Chrissy is showing me this exercise. So whatever I knew how to do, I would do on repeat. I would do a lot of abs in the gym. Of course, back then, I think this was like 2016. So everybody wanted to like have abs and a thigh gap and be skinny. But honestly, I also just wanted to be strong because I'm 5'2". I knew I was going to be going to college in the next 2 years. And because I'm so small, I wanted to be super strong so that on the field I could like knock girls out. And I played in the CCAA, which is a California D2 league. I played for San Francisco State. When you're going in as an 18-year-old onto the field, you are playing against potentially like 24-year-olds. So I knew I had to lock in, knew I had to get strong, and that's exactly what I did. At the time it was my senior year prom, I remember seeing photos of myself my freshman year of high school, I was tiny. Like, it wasn't like a conscious eating disorder, if that makes sense. I was never like, oh my gosh, I want to be skinny. I need to not eat, or like I need to like run a million miles so that I lose weight. I wouldn't eat breakfast any day of high school. I would go home from school and I kid you not, I would eat like 2 to 3 to 4 meals. I would have huge plates of food, which is so bad for you because your body needs to be fueled throughout the day, and that's what I know now. But back then I was just like so busy with soccer and lifting and school and friends that I just didn't really think about it or really care. I wish I took care of myself more rather than putting my body in overdrive all of the time. Looking back, I would tell my younger self to eat food, eat food. I was so lucky to have parents that could put food on my table that I needed to be eating it and I needed to be making it. My mom would try to tell me to eat and I just wouldn't eat. And I would wait till I get home from school and she'd be like, why are you eating 4 meals right now? Like, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, I'm hungry. And it's like, obviously I was that hungry because I wasn't ever eating. Like, duh, makes sense. This is my favorite concealer right here. This blush. This is my favorite little lippy. Some mascara. This is my favorite eyebrow. I got sent this Chris McMillan. The reason why I reached out to this brand was because it has no parabens, sulfates, or, you know, like crazy chemicals. So I like to do slick backs pretty often. Ooh. Ooh, what's going on? Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I was trying to take the lid off and it's one of these squeezy bottles. See what I'm saying? Like, squeeze. Okay. Whoa, that's a crazy color. I just love pushing my body and gaining muscle and seeing my body change, and not even just like the aesthetics part and like the look aspect of fitness. So rewarding to stick to a goal and like see it through. It's actually crazy like what we can do as humans. I want to see what I can push myself to do in life, you know, and see what I'm capable of, see how strong I can be. I just love the lifestyle of, you know, being into fitness. I feel like it really pushes you to be a better person. It's really good for your mental health, and like having a solid routine and just keeping those like everyday promises to yourself and showing up to the gym. I want to continue my fitness journey for the rest of my life. I view fitness as like a long-term thing. So not just like, oh, I want my summer body kind of vibe. I'm more so the girl that wants to like, be able to pick up her grandkids when she's old and like, be an active mom. And just even for myself, I want to feel comfortable when I'm old and have strong bones and muscles so that I can be as comfortable for as long as I can. Fitness journey was cut a bit short when I had to leave for college. Run bleachers, run the track until I literally was gonna pass out. I would do sprint work, I would do endurance work, so just running miles and miles and miles. I just wanted to train really hard because I wanted to be able to outrun all these bitches. I trained really hard, and then in the gym I would work my whole body. I would do legs and arms and abs. I remember doing a lot of squatting. That was like my main thing. I would do a lot of squatting, like really heavy. I think I did like 315, like I PR'd when I was, I think 17, like almost 18. I PR'd for like 315 pounds, which is, I don't even know like what that equals on the bar, like how many plates that is. I was pushing myself really, really hard because I was so nervous about going to college and being so small on the field. When I got to college, I actually did amazing. I started as a freshman. I think I had the 3rd most minutes on the team. But who's counting? No, I'm just kidding. I worked my ass off, and I saw that the effort that I put in actually translated to the goals that I was trying to achieve. And so that was super rewarding. But I didn't have time to lift weights. That wasn't even an option really. If I did lift weights, I would end up just like injuring myself, you know, because it would be overtraining at that point for how much games we were playing and practices we were having. Because I was like running and playing so many minutes, I lost, I think, yeah. So when I went into college, I weighed like 125. So I was like 18 years old, weighed 125. I was 5'2". In that first season, I actually tore my quad. I didn't completely tear it because I probably wouldn't have been able to come back from that. The trainer at the time told me that I sprained my quad very close to the point of torn. So it was a very, very bad sprain. I took 2 weeks off and I kept playing, and I remember still feeling the pain of my quad tear, but then just wanting to play so bad. So I went back in and played the rest of the season with a pretty injured quad. So that's when you know I'm a little like scrappy and gritty. I didn't even care if I was injured. I was just ready to go out there and knock some bitches out on the field. I was not eating enough. My eating habits were super poor, very similar to the eating habits I had in high school, where I was very malnourished. So I went in to college that year, 125, and then when I got out and went back home, that first winter was like maybe 4 or 5 months, I weighed 100 pounds. I remember seeing my grandparents and family, and they were like, "Are you sick? Are you okay?" And I remember being like, I don't even feel skinny. Like, I don't feel sickly. I pulled my shirt up and I looked at my ribs and my stomach, and you could really see my ribs poking out. And I was like, oh my gosh, super insecure. Like, maybe they're right. And then it all kind of like came together, and I'm like, I have not been eating. I've been so stressed out in go mode. I didn't even realize like I hadn't been eating. So then, of course, I tried to overcompensate for that. And so I started eating a lot of food, and not healthy food, just food, just anything in sight. Because going into my sophomore year, I was up to like 135. And this is like not to tell anyone that your weight matters, because it really doesn't. But back then I had super unhealthy habits, and I was still at the very start of my fitness journey. I was playing soccer at a really high level, so I went through a lot in a small amount of time with my eating habits. My body wasn't always the happiest with me. It was always kind of freaking out and wondering what I was going to do next. Was it going to be alcohol? Was it going to be a plate of beans and veggies because that's all I was eating when I was vegetarian? Or was it going to be queso because that's all we could afford at the time? And those lime tortilla chips and queso tasted so good. My eating habits weren't great, and I wasn't lifting weights, and I feel like I'm jumping forward so quickly, but it really took a lot of time to unlearn some of those unhealthy habits I had and actually start to make time for myself and my health again, because that was something that just like completely went out the window when I first started college. Because I was just trying my best to literally survive and take care of myself and exist. It was not a good time for me. I was not healthy, clearly, and I was very malnourished. So my immune system was poopy. Everyday makeup look. I just spilled my matcha everywhere. I don't know if you remember how much it was filled before. I'm just gonna have to show you because this is insane. This is a fuck up right here. Let's gather our bearings here. Clumsy girl, clumsy girl. Oh no, let's clean that up. After I clean it up, I'm going to the gym, and then I'll talk to y'all a little bit more about my journey out of my unhealthy habits. Oh, I guess this is a little bit ironic because this kind of describes like how messy college was. Oh my gosh, like that describes. All right, here is my everyday makeup look for the gym when I have time. And then I have a slick back pony. This is hurting my knees to be down like this. I'm getting old. Let me show you the whole fit. ONER Active baby tee. And then we have our effortless shorts in a racing green. Love these. These are a staple. And they're very high-waisted, good for the tummy. Like I said, I'm on my period. Right now I'm like bloated. Snatch it in. Baby tee. Perfect. And then we got our little booty scrunch. Accentuates the glutees. I'm not going to wear Uggs to the gym, don't worry. I actually wear some Nike Pegasus shoes that are super cute. They'll be white, so it'll kind of match with like the ONER. But yeah, quads and calves look. I'm going to the gym now. Bye. Back from the gym, and the sun is sunning. Next, I'm going to get ready for the rest of my day. I got a good quads and calves workout in. Whenever I have those days where I don't want to work out and then I go work out, the pump is insane. And I'm like, okay, this is why I work out. I'm going to have some chicken, potatoes with some cheese on top, a shower, get ready to go to Union Square, which is in San Francisco. If you've never heard of it, there's an ice skating rink and a tree. I'm going to do some holiday festivities. Got to get in the spirit and not be such a fucking Grinch. All right, Toodles. I just got out of the shower and it's time to talk college life and being a college athlete a little more. The last time I talked about it earlier today, I didn't really share everything that I felt like I needed to share because I do think being 2 years out of college now, I work an 8 to 5 job and my routine wasn't always so straightforward. And I think that affected my health a lot. I was always at training for 6 years because I did my bachelor's and my master's. I was always in school and I was helping lead a team. I was a captain of the soccer team at San Francisco State I started my sophomore year, so like 3.5 years, almost, yeah, 4 years. I was a captain of the team, so I was always looking out for other girls and, trying to be a part of something bigger than myself. A lot of that caught up to me because I wasn't necessarily taking care of myself enough. I'm getting ready right now for the night. I'm going to Union Square with my boyfriend and we're gonna get a little din probably. I'm gonna go off my macros because you shouldn't be too strict. 80-20. 80% should be of the time you should be eating healthy, whole foods. 20% of the time you should let yourself eat what you enjoy. And if that's some cheesecake or a sweet treat, that's okay. Do you. Do what keeps you consistent. And, health is a journey, but I just need to now do a little bit of makeup touch-ups because, I want to look cute. I am not going to lie. As an athlete, I had a time when I wasn't at practice or traveling on the road to different schools in California. We went to Colorado a few times and we would travel, like I said, all over California. It was just a lot. One of our sayings was the harder the week of practice, of games, the harder the week was on us, the harder we were going to go at the bar, at the house party, you name it, the concert, the festival, we were there. I had some fun times though, like I take back some of it. But yeah, it was a time. It was a time. But all of that drinking really caught up to me. It gave me like really, really bad acne in my face. Like right now, like I have just naturally like genetically chubby cheeks, but my cheeks, and I'll link a photo, my cheeks were literally like I was walking around inflamed, stressed. Oh, the cortisol was probably through the roof because it was like train hard, go to class, not eat anything, go to the dining hall and nibble on a French fry and some disgusting burger, and which probably had like zero nutrients. Like I said, we were on the road, we were eating out a lot. The coaches would pay and the school would pay for our food a lot, which was amazing. But we didn't always eat the food that was best for us. Like I said before, then my family was like, girl, you sick. When I got back to school, it was 2019 and this was my sophomore year and I was vegetarian. I started just like eating as much food as I could because I felt like I needed to really fuel myself. But I didn't really have a good perception or take on portion control, if you will. I was eating like these big plates of veggies and beans and yeah, just that healthy shit, trying to be on my health shit. Health is a journey, right? You got to learn. You have to learn from mistakes that you make to then grow and like figure out what works best for you. I got a little big. Girl was a little big and there's nothing wrong with that. COVID hit and we had to go home from college. So I moved home for like 10 months. So I moved from San Francisco back to the East Bay, which is like Oakley, Brentwood, Antioch area. I decided that I was going to spend those 10 months binge drinking, doing some other things that I shouldn't have been doing, but I was unhappy. I was in a very toxic relationship. Let's just talk about that a little bit. I spent 10 months of my life going crazy, basically, and eating terrible. But I cut myself some slack in that era because, like I said, I was going through a toxic relationship, toxic friendships, and not working out. When I got back to college, it was January. Let's fast forward to January 2021. Soccer was going to be starting in the next few months. I was now 140 pounds. Like I said, my portions during this time, not great. I gained a lot of weight. And the shitty thing about that was when I got back on the field, I had a lot more weight that I was carrying on me. So it was pretty tough getting back out on the pitch, honestly. A lot of the other girls on my team, they didn't seem to gain weight while they were home. But I was extremely unhappy and honestly self-sabotaging. That whole 10 months, it trained my ass off when I got back and tried to catch up. I was a captain and I played a lot of minutes in my first years at San Francisco State. I wasn't starting anymore. I was on the bench. But I will say, I did a good job during that time. I was everyone's biggest cheerleader, and I was still able to support my teammates and cheer everyone on and hype them up and be there when I needed to be there. I had the worst shin splints of my life. I'm not sure if anyone else has had shin splints who's listening, but they are fucking awful. Because of all that extra weight and kind of going from 0 to 100, I was severely injured, but I just try to take it as easy as possible. And then in the off season, trained my ass off, continued to go hard, started learning a little bit more on what I should be eating. I started eating meat again. Ooh, this is my favorite part. Fenty, a little bit of contour here. I forget where you're supposed to put this shit. I'm not good at makeup, just FYI. So I don't know if you should follow this routine, but it looks good on me. So I started working out during this off season and lifting again at my on-campus gym. It's a really, really nice wellness center on campus, and I also worked there at the time. I felt really comfortable like getting back into fitness. I started to lift again. I loved it. I was obsessed. And then we got back into the fall season. This was technically junior year. So sidebar, because we went home for 10 months during COVID, I actually got this like really rare extra year of eligibility because we weren't technically playing soccer. We got an extra year of eligibility. In this senior year of college, I decided that I wanted to pursue my master's degree because I could use my scholarship money to then pay for 1 whole year of my master's. I was like, let me just keep playing soccer. I'm back in shape. I think I made a good decision. Like, now that I have my master's degree, like it was all worth it, but it was stressful for sure. We did really good that year in soccer. And then I started my master's. I started really locking in. I had my last season during my master's of soccer, and we also did really well that year. I was living with my best friend, Shreya, and cooking meals again and getting back into my chefing up, understanding portions again. Now, like, I'm living in like, you know, a better environment. I've got rid of some of like my toxic friendships, got rid of me and my bestie, Shreya, thriving together. I was just really happy around that time and kind of starting to feel like myself again. It was finally my senior year. Really, I was a super senior because I was in grad school. I finished playing soccer, and from there, that was in 2022. Literally the day soccer ended, I went straight to the gym. I started to lift 4 times a week consistently. That was a game changer for me. I was locked the fuck in, and I was feeling like myself back from high school. Like, oh girl, like I'm back in the gym. I was back on my Chrissy Chella shit. I was wearing all my soccer gear though. I've bossed up my activewear collection. I will say thank you, ONER ACTIVE. Here's a photo of me kind of in this era when I first started lifting, and here I am now. A lot of change in this journey. I just want to talk about some of the biggest things that I would recommend and that I've learned when it comes to fitness and lifting. My goals when I started my fitness journey were to, one, stay consistent and find a workout plan that worked with my schedule and worked with me. I was in my last year of grad school. I was starting to apply for full-time jobs, taking the gym really, really seriously. And my goal was to find a very consistent plan that I could actually realistically stick to, because I feel like any other times in the past, I always had soccer, and so I never really could set like a routine or a plan for myself. I was just always kind of training for a purpose, which that purpose was to be fit for soccer and to be better than other players and be better for myself so that I could play. That environment was embedded in me. I had to kind of relearn how to program out what I actually enjoy rather than just doing the training that I needed to do, endurance training, running on the track, doing bleacher workout, and just like absolutely wrecking myself. That wasn't the type of training that I liked to do. I was just doing it. Just a sidebar. My bestie, Callie, all this makeup that you're seeing, she either recommended me or literally gave me. She gave me these two fire eyeshadow palettes. Does it get better than this? Anastasia does it. How to like pronounce this, but beautiful. Like all the neutrals that you could ever need, a girl has. Macro counting changed my life. I started to track and weigh my food, which never in a million years would I think of doing or want to do. I was so stubborn about it. I was like, nah, like, why do people do that? Okay, wait, sunset. Oh my gosh, I kind of missed it. I was locked into this video. I started tracking my protein. I started tracking my fat and my calories and my carbs. And it changed the game. Your girl went from skinny fat in 2022, 2023 to muscle mommy. Like I'm talking muscle mommy. I wouldn't have been able to figure all of this out without going through everything that I went through. My party stage, my collegiate athlete stage, my under eating in high school. We all have kind of our own trajectory when it comes to our fitness. The people out there that are willing to share their stories and help people avoid the mistakes that they made, those are the people that I want to be friends with. Those are the girls that you want on your team. The ones that are going to be blunt with you and share those like vulnerable stories. I love those kind of people because they help us avoid the same mistakes that they made. My next goal was to gain weight, and not only gain weight, but gain muscle, because soccer completely leaned me out. I was super thin, which is, there's nothing wrong with being super thin. I was like that skinny fat where like thin, but like you don't have a lot of muscle. You're just kind of like mushy. So I decided that I was gonna get strong and I was gonna lift 4 to 5 times a week and do some like cross training in between that. I did some yoga weekly, Pilates weekly, and that's when things really started to kick into gear. All right, wish us luck on the bus right now. It's low-key freezing out here. We're about to miss the bus. We're about to miss the bus. Oh my gosh, I dropped my case. I dropped my case. Okay. We are on the bus. Woo. We have landed in Union Square.
It's 11 counter.
But yes, so we had like a little moment on the train, a very unexpected moment. And basically, we ran into someone that looked familiar. Talk about who you saw.
So we saw him at the opening of Sunset Dunes. Just like, that was probably like a year ago now, whatever. And I'd known that like, they all take public transit like that because try to, you know, boost the city. And I recognized my boy Scott, and I took the picture with him.
This is the California senator, and Peyton somehow recognized him because of how tall he is. He literally is such a savage because he connected with him on LinkedIn.
Got him on the LinkedIn.
I was like so nervous, and then he literally connected with him on LinkedIn, asked to take a picture.
In the back of my head, I'm like, I shouldn't do it, but always got to listen to yourself. My initial instinct said, go say what's up.
You heard it here. Here is the Christmas edition of Union Square. Wow, this is beautiful. All right, let's go check out the ice skating rink, low-key. We got Cheesecake Factory up there. Peyton used to work there.
Honestly, I've been thinking like, let's make a run in politics. Come on, you heard it here first.
No. I just want to tell a quick story about Peyton over here and his ice skating talents. So I think 3 years ago, we were here. We were like on a little date at the beginning of our, I guess it was the beginning of our relationship, I guess. And came onto the ice and took a little tumble.
Skating is not my thing.
He's good at snowboarding though. He injured his ankle on the ice last year, or 3 years ago, and
It was a bad one. My ankle was purple after. I skated through, mind you, I skated through, I didn't pitch out.
I floated around on the ice like a little fairy, like I always do. Okay, I need to stop recording. This is fucked up. We are in the Nintendo store. Oh my god. You can play Mario Kart in here? Alright, looks like we're about to battle it out right now.
No, I got first. I just fucking lied.
Okay, he got third, I got fifth. Mama got third. Feliz Navidad. This couch looks comfy. This is where I've been wanting to go the whole time. You could see the tree and all of Union Square. Good morning. Ooh, my eyes are watering. That's when you know it's early. I am headed to my hometown. So I'm going to drive from San Francisco right now all the way to Oakley. It's like an hour, 20 minutes. I'm gonna go to my sister's and then I'm gonna go to my best friend's house for a makeup party. I have a literal tear coming down my face. I have my breakfast with me, my cottage cheese, toast, turkey bacon, and 2 eggs today. We are going to get our eyelashes permed and dyed. Excited to show you the result. From the city to the sticks, boys. I just got to my sister's in Discovery Bay. Where are we going? We're going to Knightson for my best friend's makeup party. Like I said, I'm getting my eyelashes done because I look like absolute shit right now. So hopefully that bosses my life up. Then we will buy some makeup from her. No, you got open. The infamous Callie Hetrick backyard right now. Grew up in this backyard. It's my favorite backyard of all time. Her dad built this house. Crazy. We're gonna go back to her house, grab on some cauliflower pizza. Let's go potty, let's go potty, let's go potty. We are out in Discovery Bay at my sister's house. It's so beautiful. You could see Mount Diablo way over in the distance. Me and this guy are headed from Discovery Bay. He's tripped out over the camera. It's time to watch this guy for the week. My parents are in Hawaii, so we're gonna watch you. We're gonna go to the beach every day. All right, let's get there safe. Kisses. Thank you. Welcome home.
Oh, that's a dead leg.
Let's go back. About a month ago, I applied to the ONER ACTIVE campaign for January 2026. I actually heard back this morning, this friggin' morning. I woke up to this email. Craziness. First of all, let me just say ONER ACTIVE is literally the brand that I've been wanting to work with and just showcase how beautiful their swimwear is. I genuinely love the brand. I want to put so many girls under this brand because it genuinely makes me so much more confident in the gym. This campaign is going to start on January 1st and it's going to end on January 31st. I'm going to be sent a package with an outfit and then I'm going to be creating content for that outfit. The minute I got that email, the gears are turning and I'm coming up with all these ideas and I'm really excited to see everything come together. I've been working my booty off for this. I'm just so happy and grateful and appreciative because I just feel like such an ordinary like human being. I'm like hearing the I'm just an ordinary girl by Tana in my head right now. I feel like I live such like an ordinary life. It's just crazy to believe that something like this could happen to me. I'm having a little bit of imposter syndrome and just kind of freaking out, honestly, like screaming, crying, throwing up times a million. I really hope that by the end of January, I feel like I've accomplished what I want to accomplish. 11,000 women applied for this campaign. 100 to 150 girls actually got accepted into the campaign. They're going to choose 10 girls at the very end of January to become ONER Active affiliates, which is just mind-blowing. It's not about the sales code. Obviously, I want to make a bunch of sales and like help the brand, but I ultimately want to extend the ONER Active community to more women, because when I first started making content and posting on social media, ONER Active and their community, all of their affiliates, all of their athletes, and even just all of their like big fans like me, made me feel so complete. I feel like I have like this community that I can always go to for support, and that I can always like root for and cheer for, and I get that same energy back. That's really rare to find with a brand, especially when you're dealing with marketing and sales, and content creation sometimes can be like kind of scary and lonely. I'm actually just really thrilled that I found this brand and that they see me and they see me for me. I've been able to just show up as my authentic self online, and I think that's what's really important, is I'm not trying to fit into their aesthetic or their vibe. I'm just being me, and it's catching their eyes. When I read the email, I was like, I don't think I've ever felt my dreams like come true until that moment. It's hard to see your worth. It's hard to see how much value you have. And for ONER Active to be able to see that from my content and see my personality and fuck with me, there's really nothing and no better feeling. Look at the camera. Hi. Hi, friend. Hi, Tookie. I've been freaking out all freaking day. ONER Active literally means the world to me. For me, it's about bringing women together, and that's been like my sole purpose since coming into social media after being off of it for years. The sense of community that social media creates is unreal. In my fitness journey, I've been wanting to extend that to more women and move my body with other women and do group fitness. And I recently enrolled in NASM, the National Association of Sports Medicine. I'm working on a personal training certification as well as a wellness certification and a nutrition certification. I'm really happy to finally be truly like backed by science, so that I can really hone in on helping women achieve their fitness goals and just bring communities together and lead group fitness. In November, me and a really good friend of mine that I actually met through ONER Active online. She lives in San Francisco as well, and we both came together, brought our communities together, and actually went on a walk. I think about like 50 women showed up of all ages, which is super amazing. We went to Land's End in San Francisco. It was like a 2-mile walk. It was just so amazing to meet new women from the Bay. We're just trying to really cultivate a space where women feel like they belong. I know sometimes like gym can be super intimidating when it comes to fitness, and even going to group fitness classes. We just wanted to make a space where it was like outdoor and everybody was kind of new and everyone was kind of in that same boat of just like getting to know each other and moving their bodies together. It was the most wholesome experience and day of my life, honestly. That's my new passion project that I've been working on. It's making me really excited, because I feel like my 9-to-5 job, it fulfills me, right? I love helping students in higher education, helping college students figure out what they want to do with their degrees. But I just truly feel like the health and wellness industry is really where I belong. My fitness journey, all these years, I feel like is finally kind of coming together full circle. I'm finally making it a purpose rather than just a hobby. This larger purpose is now bigger than me, and I feel like I'm extending it onto my community and the people around me. Some of my goals in the fitness industry are to have my own personal training business and help women achieve their goals. I also would love to start a business for group fitness as well, because I feel like group fitness just has that community aspect that I'm really looking for and that I know a lot of women in the Bay Area are looking for as well. I love events. I love hosting events. I love coordinating events. I love putting things together and seeing them come to fruition and just seeing like all that you worked on come together so that not only you can enjoy the event, but all the people that show up will have fun, have memories, and ultimately network, meet new people, and leave the event feeling more whole than when they showed up. The last thing I want to share, and maybe you can relate to, or maybe you've made similar mistakes, I want to talk about the mistakes that I've made on my fitness journey that I think you should avoid. Because if I had someone sitting here telling me what I should avoid and what potentially won't lead to results or what will end up hurting you in the long run with your journey, everybody's different. Everyone has a certain fitness routine that works for them, nutrition plans that work for them. Number one thing that hurt my progress in feeling my best and looking my best and seeing actual progress when I was overtraining and doing 8 different exercises for my legs. I would leave the gym each day after being in there for like 2 hours. I'd be exhausted and barely be able to finish and work on anything I needed to do outside of the gym, like any work or even socialize. Like I was just exhausted. It really wasn't a great gym life balance, I guess I could say, to work out 7 days a week and be in the gym 2 hours a day. Lifting weights is pretty hard on your body, and so if you're not resting, you are not going to progress because your body has to regenerate. Another huge mistake that I made at the beginning of my fitness journey that you should avoid is not getting enough sleep. I thought that I could overtrain, undersleep, undereat, and that I would progress. My goal was to gain muscle and get strong. How are you going to get strong if you are eating not enough food a day, or eating like 1 to 2 meals a day, or you're just snacking throughout the day? And that's sometimes what I was doing, unfortunately. Definitely avoid not sleeping because sleep is key to progress for the gym and just for your overall mental health and mind. I feel like a lot of people hear that like you need to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night to really feel your best and do your best in life. Another mistake that I made was showing up to the gym with no plan and just figuring out what I was gonna do that day. Just however I feel, wherever the wind blows me, I will go to that machine. I didn't even know what days I was training arms, what days I was training legs. It was like, all right, like my arms aren't feeling sore today. Let's go do bicep curls. Let's go do tricep dips. Let's go run a mile on the treadmill. That was kind of my vibe. I was just like, let me just do whatever feels right. As soon as I decided to start making a program for myself, and that sounds complicated, a program, right? But really, all I was doing, and I still do this to this day, is in my notes on my phone, I just type up some workouts and I look at what other personal trainers post online and watch YouTube videos. I look up exercises, and now that I'm doing the NASM personal training certification, I'm gonna learn even more about how to create my workout programs for me and for my goals. For example, this was my glute day today. Last thing that I want to say is that if you were vibing with anything that I said and you would like to follow my journey from my personal training license, group fitness training, ONER ACTIVE campaign, or my fitness journey, my lifestyle, I would love for you to subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Just tap in, and I'd love to root for you and watch your journey as well. Love having you watch, and if you made it this far, I love you so much.